Hi friends, welcome you all in my today video regarding Wazuh. If you are a viewer of my channel, you can see there are videos available in my channel in Hindi language. To connect with the audience uh, who understand only English, there are many Indians who can only understand English. So for those, I am making this video. This is my old playlist, which is in Hindi language of complete Wazuh information. Today, I am trying to demonstrate the Wazuh in English language. So hope you like. If you have any suggestion, you are seeing on screen my channel different playlist. They are all in Hindi language. I hope you like this initiative and give me the appropriate feedback to improve myself. And I'm very thankful to you. You can see we are going to study about Wazuh. We have a central component. We have an end component. We will study about that. So Wazuh in this today we have agenda why we should study about Wazuh. What is Wazuh in reality, and is there any alternative? And if there are, then we will comparison with that, and we will see a demo of installation of Wazuh. First, we will see why we use Wazuh. So, why we use Wazuh? Wazuh is a security platform. In the today world, there are many companies which are using the digital network, because when we do business on digitally, like on Flipkart, Amazon, there are number of companies who have their own website and doing business through their digital network, because it's give a opportunity to scale the business at very high speed. But with this opportunity, we have some risk of getting our credentials, customer data and other stuff getting hacked, or we can have huge loss. So security is the major concern in any point of view of this digital world. One of way to implement the network security or monitoring through is the Wazuh. How Wazuh is doing, we will see again. But I suppose that why we are using Wazuh, it's clear to you. We choose the tool to implement security monitoring on our logs and different stuff, and according to that security we can take action. That is very unique feature I like the Wazuh. So what is the Wazuh? Wazuh is a free open source security platform that unifies XDR SIM capacity. It gives you both. XDR is extended detection and response, and SIM system information and event management. So it is saying that you should monitor all the endpoint of your application network. No endpoint is left behind. You monitor it on real time, plus you should store the logs and compare the logs by time and get the analysis what is getting changed. And it is the thing which is getting changed, it is in a good way or bad way. And if it is in bad way, you can define the predefined scripts. You can use the predefined script and made your own scripts, or in Python, in Bash, to do some action. Wazuh is free of cost. You can install in your own server. Wazuh is providing the cloud also, where you can find the Wazuh hosted cloud services, and it is open source. You can make some changes if you are good enough in coding, and you can manipulate it according to your use case, and I think you can excel it to achieve the great level of security. Already you can see there are multiple open source contributor who is making the Wazuh a great security software. So hope you like the Wazuh feature. So if you move further, and we will see the Wazuh feature. Wazuh is very rich in feature. It's providing the feature of intrusion detection based upon the agent architecture. We have the agent which is hosted on the different machines, which is giving the information, sending the information to server, and they are detecting the rootkit malware detection by checking the logs and other set of rules. Then we have the log data analysis. We have we have in the var log of we have nginx access log, error log, we have auth log, sys log, kernel log. All this log file we have to analyze. We can't do it manually. Agent sending data, taking data from Wazuh server and sending it to we can say sending it to server, and server is analyzing it, and if any logs is compare it with the logs rule, if any logs found to breaking the rule or rule will get fire, and you will get alert on your dedicated email ID or channel. Then file integrity is there, vulnerability is there, configuration management is there, incident response and regulatory compliance, cloud security is there. FIM is that file integrity monitoring, that there is a checksum associated with the each file. Checksum is associated whenever you change the single character or add, delete this single character, checksum will get changed, and you will get the alert that someone has changed your file at this time. And vulnerability detection is the I like the feature of the vulnerability detection the most in the Wazuh, that it is giving the hint of where I am weak, where I can get attacked. If some part of my body is weak, I should go to doctor and do some treatment to make this part healthy. So vulnerability detection is that kind of feature which is giving the scan of your body, that is your server system, that this part of body is your weak, please go and take this or other stuff or other precautions to not get in the hunt of hackers. Then configuration assessment is that we can check our can put our eye on the configuration assessment. Incident response is there, like some hacker is attacked on your network, and when your hacker is attacked on your network, you want that internet connection is getting closed immediately. Why? Because there are some files which you don't want anyone to take out. There may be customer data, the customer mobile number, anything it is stored there. Maybe it's a bank account server which have the multiple account holders information. Whenever a hacker do attack, immediately internet will go off and no file will be get transferred outside the world. If you going to do it manually, it will take some time, either in 1 minute. A very large amount of data in 1 minute can go from your server to outside world. Then in the regulatory compliance, we see there are some industries organization, like in the for PSI, this is for payment card industry, which is founded by MasterCard. It is not government. There are some government standards are also there. Then non-government standards are also there. In the industry your organization belong, you have to follow some set of standardization to do work and to check that your servers machines are in compliance with these regulatory. You should make you can use Wazuh. There are also other tools are available. You can use to check the compliance. You can use Wazuh. Last is the cloud security. Cloud security, we have the different cloud service provider: Amazon, AWS, Google cloud provider. Wazuh is capable or comfortable is comfortable to work with all these cloud providers. Like we can monitor the AWS instances, Azure, and other services like AWS S3, CloudTrail. There are other stuffs is also there. We can go and we can make that our cloud is we can maintain our security on cloud. We can also own our on-premises setup is there. You have set up a server on your data center. You are having your own data center, and you want to make the changes to, or you want to monitor and want to take the appropriate action, then you can use Wazuh is the best choice for that. Plus, if you want to, who is deleting the instance, or is your instance state is getting changed, its type is getting changed, many useful information is found in AWS CloudTrail for all the servers. What is going with them, going start, going stop, state change, someone deleted that. Very useful. You can combine the your Wazuh with that, and you are good to go. Then we have a Wazuh component. We have central component and endpoint component. Central component is that where you host the Wazuh server. Server have the three parts: indexer, server, and dashboard. In indexer is the database, and indexer is form of open search. In behind the scene, open search is working, and we are capturing our logs in the open search by name of indexer, Wazuh indexer. Then we have Wazuh server, which is talking with agents and collecting logs and processing them and sending to indexer. Then we have dashboard. Whatever is going on, we want to see that. To see that, we use the Wazuh dashboard. If you go again in the Wazuh dashboard, we are using behind the scene is Kibana dashboard, and the endpoint is the agent. Agent is Wazuh agent. It may be laptop, your desktop, it is server, or anything, any machine which you want to monitor, which you want to make secure. You can use that. You need to install the agent on that. We will go for agent specification and server specification furthermore, but this is the main component diagram. At central level we have this component, and endpoint level we only have the agent which send the data to central component. One thing, Wazuh is the upgraded form of OSAC. OSAC is the another security tool. Wazuh is the upgraded form of Wazuh. Wazuh is the upgraded form of OSAC, and it gives you more feature than OSAC. In agent is Wazuh work on push mechanism. Agent is sending logs over network to Wazuh server. Server is not going anywhere. Like Prometheus go to agents or node exporter. It's work on pull mechanism, but Wazuh is working on push mechanism. Any agent, there are maybe multiple agent. We have 1,000 of agent. We can have 1,000 agent will send their data to server. For that we do some configuration. We will have that in installation part. So being the time you are, I hope you are on the pitch with me, and we are very clear with the component part, what our component is doing, where we are saving our logs, what is our server is doing at high level. Then we move to the indexer part. We will take each part one by one. First is the indexer. If we say indexer save the data in shards. If you see, node 1 primary shard is P0. It is hosted in other node 2, node 3 as a replica shard R0. Whenever node 1 is getting deleted or some problem will happen, data will not be lost. R0, R1, we can retrieve it, and again our shard is ready. Shard, by using the shard in this sharding concept, we can achieve the high availability of our indices. Data loss is chances are very low, because at any point all three zones are not going to dead. in one region of AWS, for example, we have 3 regions, and in all the 3 zones we have different nodes. All 3 zones are not getting down at single time. Okay, so we have data surety that we will not going down. Shards, with shards concept, like we have here 3 shards. When the life cycle is there, hot, cold, whenever we are moving to older life cycle to cold, then number of shards is getting decreased, and our the main is our search, how fast is our search. So whichever indices are in hot life cycle, the search is very fast on that. Open search is you can say that is a search engine. Then we have the Wazuh server architecture. In the left top corner, you are seeing that the threat intelligence is there. Before threat intelligence, you can see that agent enrollment, agent connection is the duty of the Wazuh server. This task will be done by the Wazuh server. He had to enroll the agent and establish the connection, and got the log and accept the log and match the rule on that log, decode that, and if rule is firing according to that, it will give a result to the Filebeat, and Filebeat will send data to the database, which is the indexer. And now we will go to topmost part of left side, IP reputation from threat intelligence. IP reputation is that there are some IP which have the bad reputation, we can directly block them. Then some IP is trying to sending the bad request to our instance, like it is doing trying to gain the SSH access from wrong user. Then we can block this IP on temporary basis, or we can do it on permanent basis. Then we have file hashes. File hashes is same checksum value. There is a value which is associated with the file. If something is getting changed in the file checksum will change, and you will get a report according to the time. At this time, the file content is got changed and checksum is changed. Okay. Then we have MITRE tag and vulnerability detection. There are some real world incident in which hacking is happened, and to learn from this hacking, we have MITRE tag and vulnerability detection. Like in the vulnerability detection, we have CVF database, and private organization contribute in it and upload information, what was their weakness, which tool was used to do hacking, and other stuff they are uploading that. Your system, when we Wazuh do scan your system vulnerability, your system is compared with the CVF database, and it will show your system is weak from this point. Like your hand, when you do full MRI scan, it will tell you in your backbone this particular L5 or L6 version, L6 not version, L6 is weak and heavy problem. You can please look for this and go to doctor and do proper treatment. Like that, vulnerabilities do work. Then we have regulatory compliance, PSI, DSS, payment card industry, HIPAA for health, NIST, GPG both for IT industry, NIST for US, and GPG for UK. We can check our system is compatible or not through this regulatory compliance. Then state of the endpoint, we can check this file state database, system inventory database, third party API we can manage, ticketing system like Jira we can manage. And it is like it's the architecture diagram of one Wazuh server. When we deploy the Wazuh server in a client architecture mode, when we have large number of agents. Then we require the Wazuh daemon RESTful API. Through RESTful API we will talk. 55,000 is the port of the Wazuh server RESTful API. Through using a database and Wazuh dashboard, communicate it with. And you can say you have seen here that raw data events, each and every log which is coming to a server, it is stored in the indices of the indexer. But if some logs is breaking the rules, it is also stored in raw data, plus it is also created stored in other indices, where we kept only those indices or those logs which break some log rules. Then we have API services. Wazuh architecture is very simple. Rules for decoding and rule matching. There are lots of rules you will get when you install the Wazuh. You can write your own rules, and you can do changes in your rule directory. Plus, if I say you have the Wazuh server installed and you want to connect with the we will talk with later. Now go to Wazuh dashboard. What are we making? We will doing whatever logs we are created, implemented rules, we visualize. Visualization is the better way to understand the things. Visualization, for visualization, Kibana is there. Kibana visualization and Grafana visualization, both are best. I personally feel that. So whatever is going on our system, we can easily understand from dashboard, because other person like for manager team, testing team may not get comfortable with the coding part, that alerts, different things are, but they are easily understand what is the going on the ground of your server, on your machine, wherever you hosted, or they can easily get the idea. In the end, we have covered all the three central component. In the last we will seeing the agent component. Agent component, we have log collector, which collecting the log, command execution, like whenever some user executing the command, we can monitor it by audit beat. File integrity module is there, we have already discussed. Security configuration assessment, malware detection is there. Active response is there, like stop running process. If you think that some process is got run and is troubling the system and your application is on risk, you can make the setting in the active response that in that particular place you can stop the running processes. Plus block the network connection. Sometimes it's very crucial to block, because your data is very crucial to any organization. Then cloud security monitoring, Azure, AWS, Google, all are providing. You can for monitor your Dockerized environment, containerized environment. Then we have component in one single picture. Whatever we have read till now, we have in a single picture, where we can see we have Wazuh component, and here we have endpoints where different Wazuh modules are going on, and their data flow is collecting data and sending it to agent daemon. Agent before sending data to server, it is encrypting them, then sending. The Wazuh server, which is accepting them, decrypt it only when the agent is getting enrolled and connection is getting established. Then through the RESTful API, it is connected to Wazuh dashboard, and indexer is also connected through RESTful API. 555 000 port is for server. API, it is decoding it, doing the threat intelligence, vulnerability detection, and regulatory compliance. Raw data events and security events, sending data through the help of Filebeat to indexer. Whenever dashboard talk with the whenever we use the dashboard to check the Wazuh server, it communicate with the both to the server and to the Wazuh indexer. There are some ports like 1514 TCP port for agent connection, but before agent connection, at 1515 port we have the agent enrollment. First agent is getting enrolled, then the connection service is getting through. Then we have 1516 port where the Wazuh cluster daemon will be run. Like we have implemented the Wazuh architecture and in the client server mode. In that case 1516 port will be utilized. Then we have 51 port for sys collector. It is disabled by default, and 55,000 port for the RESTful API of the Wazuh server. We have indexer 9200 port for its API. If we are making the cluster to make it highly available, then this on this port this cluster will be run. Wazuh dashboard will run only on 443. It will not run on 80 port because Wazuh itself is a security platform. It should follow all the security. We are not going to enable it on 80 port. We should enable it on by using certificate on 443 port only. So that should be taken care when you implement it. That is the Wazuh architecture. There is a server, desktop, laptop, cloud, instance, virtual machine, anything. We have agent is installed on them. Agent can send directly data to the server or through the network load balancer. Through the network load balancer, we have the master node, worker node, different worker node we have, and they are connected. They are communicating to each other in the master client architecture. Network load balancer is distributing the load equally to all the worker or master node, and master node, after they processing the data, they are sending data through their Filebeat in the indexer, and data is getting saved. Either it is if it is triggering any alert, then alert is sending to user through Slack, email, or other. Then we have dashboard whom the user is operating. In this case I am the user, and that's the basic infra which I have tried to make. In the public subnet, I am not hosting my servers. I am hosting my Wazuh server only in Wazuh, only in private subnet, because we are not supposed to host it on public subnet for security reason. For access, how to access it, the Wazuh dashboard, we will access it through ALB only. ALB or other things you can use reverse proxy, but better way is that you use the cloud service provider, all the service cloud provider, AWS, Azure provide the LB facility, and it's very good. You use that. And whenever we are making the infra, we have some points which we need to take care. Like there are some CPU, memory, disk we require, and there is some planning behind that. What is the number of agent we are going to connect, and if in the future number of agent will get increased, how we will tackle that situation, and whatever what is the operating system on which we can host our server, because agent is hosted on any operating system. And 1 to 25 we need to have 4-core CPU, 8 GB RAM, and 50 GB storage. If you go to going to increase the number of agents 50 up to 100, then you require up to 200 GB storage. And if you talk about the operating system, you need Amazon Linux, Red Hat, CentOS, Ubuntu. These are the version of the Ubuntu. on these operating system you can only host your server, and for the agent any OS you can go. Plus agent is not requirement is not that much. Agent is only requiring the RAM up to 35 MB only. Agent is very light in, and there are some important directories and files like etc Wazuh indexer. Here we have openset.yaml where we do our customized changes, customize information of our indexer hostess and certificates which we made. Then etc Filebeat, we have the template and certificates and its configuration file. Dashboard, we have etc dashboard, we have openset dashboard YAML and certificates are there. And to call the Wazuh server API through dashboard, we have the user share Wazuh dashboard data Wazuh config. In that we have wazuh.yaml where we allocate the information of our Wazuh server. Then we have var osec logs where we have the alert.json and archive.json file. Where osec etc, we have the osec.conf file. It is very important file of our osec configuration, what modules we have enabled it or what module we have disabled. Var osec active response bin, all the predefined scripts are there. You can made your own bash python script here. Plus last we have the rule file which we match while decoding the logs. Either it's creating issue, some kind of issue, we can say that it's making some we can say that it is distracting our system and firing some rules, breaking the rules. So where we have the lots of rules files are there. We can make our own rule files there to make our system more secure. Then we have the cloud security. We can monitor AWS instances on that. Plus there are multiple services which are not hosted on AWS instances like AWS S3, CloudTrail, and there are many services are there. We can connect our end system to that Wazuh system. That then second cloud provider is that Microsoft Azure, plus Google Cloud is also there. There are some customer of Wazuh which is using Wazuh like NASA, very big name is there. Most of this industry you can see here is from USA. So you can you have seen that the industry standard which is provide the regulatory compliance is of those country only. In the last we will see some alternates. One of alternative found is S-Note. S-Note is stable and good competitor, but what I am feeling ki Wazuh is getting popular day by day, and it's growing at high rate, good rate it is growing, and continues its new version are coming with good quality. They are introducing new feature, new modules day by day. Now we will see how we can do installation of Wazuh. We will do installation in this video of OpenStack stack. If we go here, we can do installation in single command. There are some hardware specifications which I already tell you. We can use the single command to install, and we will call the Wazuh assistant and it will create server for us. But to get the better understanding of tool, I will suggest you to go to step-by-step installation so that you get the idea what is going behind the picture and how your application will be run. Until you have that idea, I don't think that things will work to you to deeply understand. That you can stay download and run the installation agent. This is single command, just run and shell script will call, and it will give you ID password go to UI and assess it. That is a simple, and you will not get whatever is going on behind the scene and how is the Wazuh working. So instead of this using this we are going for step by step. First we will install indexer, and I have a server on that. First I will install Wazuh certificate creation script, and then we will load a Wazuh config file. We are ready. We have done installation. Okay, now check. Now we are ready with the config file, Wazuh certs script. Now we if you go to our config file, here there are some entries which we need to make. In the indexer node 1, we have to give our node IP. In this case we are hosting all our 3 components in single server, so we will give the IP of here of all these of our local server only 127.0.0.1. In case we have the different VMs, like one VM for indexer, one for server, one for dashboard, we will give the private IP or public IP, whatever the architecture you are infra you are thinking to build, you are planning to build. According to that, you can give the IP and open the port which I have described in the API column. In this slide I have shown to you that you need to open for the, then if the connection is okay, you will find your result are working and your Wazuh server will be work. Okay, now we will save our config file, and we will go again to our official documentation of the Wazuh and run. It is telling us to edit the config file and run this bash file. Okay, it's saying that its certificate has been created. We can verify it, and if you go inside the Wazuh certificates and do ls, you see lots of key are there, which we will know why we have generated this. These are very important. Without that you can't make your Wazuh secure. So we have made the tar file of the Wazuh, and we will delete the our certificate folder. Okay, go. Now we will go to next node isolation. Where we are working on Ubuntu system, so we will use the apt package manager. It is saying that some dependency are required. You should install it before installing the indexer. So no issue in that. As we are in Ubuntu user, we have to use sudo. By using sudo, we will install all the dependency, and then we will go. It is saying that this particular package is used required for we can say for our indexer. Please install it. Then we need to add the key, but it is giving us error that this key is only be added by root user. So we will shift to our root user and run the same command again, and it should give us the positive response. Okay, it's give us the positive response, and now we are ready to add the repository. Now we add the repository tabs table. Okay, repository also added. We will update the repository by using the sudo apt update, and then we will install our package. Verify from here. It's also saying that do the apt-get update. Then we will install the package. If you follow the guide step by step, installation will not bother you much. Then okay, now we are ready for installation of indexer, and we will run this command. This command will help only to install. It will install the indexer. After the install of indexer, there are some configuration which we need to do, and this we have to do manually. But if you want that you want to do not want to do it manually, then you can make Ansible role for that. But first time you should do on using commands only. Then for second time you go for bash script, Ansible role, etc. Our indexer is getting installed. Indexer is heavy than server and dashboard. It is saying that you have to edit this file, etc Wazuh indexer opensource.yaml. Opensource.yaml, if you see, I already describe you this file and folder which are important. Here we have to change our network.host. Our network.host is 127.001, I think. And node name here is given node 1. We can continue with node 1. First we change network.host, and we can change node.name from node.1 node-1 to anything else, but being the time we can leave it. And if we are not changing it here, cluster info my initial master node, we are not going to change it from here also. Last discovery seeds host, when we have multiple instances, then we use this option. Otherwise no need to use this option. Then you below you can see they are making the logs file, and you see the plugins. There are different keys which we have made using certificates. In the certificate you find that these keys are there, not indexer key but root ca and root ca.pem. These all keys was there. If you are changing the node 1 name from starting, you change the name in all these different lines. Okay, then it is saying that we have to made the certificates are already made, but we need to deploy it as per our node. What is our node? Our node is node 1 indexer node-1. Now we follow the other guideline. It is saying that make the directory in the Wazuh indexer by name of certs in under /etc/Wazuh indexer. Then from this tar file, some keys we need to fetch and send it to certs folder. Then we have to rename some keys, and to rename those key we use mv command, chmod command. Certs folder is created, but we need to change its permission, so we are using the chmod, giving 500 permission. And inside the certs folder we have different things. We are giving it 400 permission, only read permission. Nobody can change these and nobody can execute this. Then we have chown. We are giving the ownership of this particular directories to Wazuh indexer only. Root still use this, as root is the prime user, prime minister, so it's going to use, but here we are giving the ownership in that way. Okay, we are ready with all the configuration. we can check verifying that certs folder is getting created. Then we go inside the certs and check whatever the keys we have renamed and we have fetched is located there or not. It is there, and till now we have success. Now go to next step. Currently we are using the systemd, so we do the daemon reload, enable the Wazuh indexer and start the Wazuh indexer. Enable is referring like if your instance go down or you shut down the instances night, and in the morning if you start the machine, if you not enable it, then you again have to start or restart, whatever you like. But to remove that dependency, whenever you switch on the system, it will have the own indexer. Then next step is the cluster initialization. Either we have the single instance, but we should go but we have to initialize it, open search. Then first we check the status of our indexer which we have installed. It is up and running. Let initialize our cluster. With initialization of cluster, our one part of central component is getting completed. Now we have left with two part only. Two part. If you want use to Wazuh assistant, you can use part by part, and if you not want to like me, you can go with the step by step. It's given commands for RPM, but we are using only apt. So let's install the Wazuh manager. If you are installing the Wazuh manager on different VM, first you have to add the key plus repository, update it, then install. But we have already added the key while we are doing installation of indexer, so we don't need again those key. We just initialize and start. When the installation is done, we will enable the Wazuh server and run our and start it. It will take some time, near about less than minute or a minute. In the server installation, server is incomplete without Filebeat. So you have to make sure that you are installing Filebeat while installing the Wazuh server. Let's first start the Wazuh server, then we can check status of the Wazuh server, because if status is not up, Filebeat will not work. So apt-get -install Filebeat, and after installation, successful installation of Filebeat, we have to do some configuration in the Filebeat. First we download a predefined, there is a predefined Filebeat configuration file available. We will download it, and then we will add it to customize it. etc/etc/filebeat/filebeat.yaml. In that section we need to change the host, but in our use case we have host of 127.0.0.1 only, so we not need to change this host. Else we have to make the entry of indexer at that part. If we have multiple hosts, we can add the entry of multiple instances, multiple indexer in that. If we have multiple master in that. Okay, then we have now we have to authenticate it Then whenever we log in the Wazuh, we should do login with some password. So we create a Filebeat key store and give a password. For being the time, we are giving it a password of admin and username of admin also. There are some alert template for the Wazuh indexer from Filebeat is powering them. We will install and give the permissions set. And Wazuh module, Filebeat work on modules. We have the modules and built module from Filebeat. We install them and we are ready to go with it. And now we have to make certificate according to our Filebeat. For Filebeat use the certs of server, and we made cert with the name of, I think, Wazuh 1. Yes, we can see Wazuh by name of Wazuh 1 we have made that. So we will add command here, node name is equal to Wazuh 1. After that, we have to follow the same step which we have done in indexer. We have to make a directory by name of certs and fetch some keys from tar file, rename some keys from node name to filebeat.pam or filebeat.key.pam. Then we have to change the permissions 500 of certs folder, and inside the certs folder we are giving the permission of 500, and we are giving the ownership of restricting the ownership of this folder to root only. After that, your certificates are ready. You start your Filebeat services and you check that service is running proper. If your result is appropriate, then your server part is also done and you are left behind with the only single part. Let's check the service. Filebeat test output is that, and it is giving the connection is okay with the 127.0.0.1. So here our two part of a server is done. Now we can move to third part of step-by-step installation of Wazuh dashboard. There is some dependency of dashboard you should install so that your service not get failed. Then we don't need to add repo and key. You know the reason very well. We go to package if we don't have another dependency, and then we do some configuration changes. As this configuration whenever the package got installed is standard, as per our local setup which we are making, we need to change them. It's taking some time. Wazuh indexer, if we say monitoring, if you want to monitor logging, do logging, Wazuh is good. You try to implement on your whatever you are application you are making, and it is very accurate, and action response are very good feature in that. And we are going to install apt-get the dependency of the Wazuh indexer, Wazuh dashboard. Currently we are left behind with the only central component, which is the Wazuh, and key we don't need. We have to upgrade our repository. We have to make sure that our repository are up to date, and then we will go to our Wazuh dashboard. Let's go the Wazuh installation, and you can check the AWS speed is very high. AWS is giving good platform to learner by giving them a time period of 1 year, because currently I'm using the Azure. You can find Azure playlist on my channel. It's giving timeline of only 1 year, which I request if you can forward my request to Azure Microsoft, please increase some time, because in 1 month is not sufficient. At least up to 3 months you can give. It's request only. Please consider it. Then etc dashboard, YAML we have. Server.host is 4000 is okay, 443 is okay. OpenSearch host is on localhost 900 is okay. We are hosting it on localhost only. Everything is okay, no need to change anything. So it's not under my use case to change it. Next time we will see. Again, we have to make this certificate in according with the its name, but it's what was the name of Wazuh dashboard, if you anybody remind? Okay, I also not remind. So what we can do, how can we get that? Where should I go? In our config file we have given the name of dashboard. Either copy or you can type, but make sure you are typing. If you are typing, then type it correctly, otherwise all the hard work which we have done earlier on, it got wasted. Then we are making again a search directory, getting some key from there, then renaming it according to our use case we have given, then permissions and the ownership we are changing. Wrong terminal. Okay, now okay, all commands are successfully executed. Again, systemd we are working on enable and start our Wazuh dashboard service. If we are not hosting on same server, then you have to change the Wazuh API, Wazuh server API. In that in the space of localhost, you have to give the IP of that particular server, either private or public, whatever. Then through ID password you are go to access. So we are move out of our root user, so it is not appropriate to work on root user. You should work on but it was not working on our Ubuntu user, so I go to, but it is you will see in the recommendation of Wazuh official document which we are following, that you should install Wazuh with root user only. With the use of private key, we type HTTPS. We not going to use HTTP. If you type here HTTP, it will not work. You have to type HTTPS, then column double forward slash and I private IP will not work here. Public IP you require, either the load balancer URL you require, or if you have domain you can map it. You can also use domain is you can use easily. Then whenever we do the login to Wazuh, it asks for the ID password. ID password is which we made a Filebeat store credit score. In that at that time we have given some credits, username and password. Same we will use. In our case we have given the admin user and admin password. Same I am using to got sign in. when I'm here trying to do sign in, you can check it's checking the Wazuh server API, and it's got login. Currently we are don't have any agent. You can add agent by clicking on add agent. There are modules. By default, modules are there: server, security events, integrity monitoring, policy, vulnerability monitor, PSI. These are the security appliances: payment card industry, NIST, IT industry, GDPR, and HIPAA for the health industry. Health industry documents are very sophisticated. Many are used to store the data on S3, and but they should follow the guideline of their particular industry, like HIPAA, and like IT industry follow the guidelines of NIST. Vulnerabilities, they are my favorite feature, which is telling us the weakness of our system. If we install agent on any system, it will tell us the vulnerability score or vulnerability scan of those. Payment card industry, DSS was started by MasterCard, very famous company, whom credit or debit card we are using. And currently all the organization which dealing in credit debit are following it. System auditing is the other feature which I like the most, which we can scan. If you go to Wazuh, you can see that different of your management. You have rule, decoder, CDF groups, configuration. In the status, you have status, cluster, statistics, logs, reporting. Different stuff is there. You can explore it. They are very useful stuff you will find here. And in the agents, you will see modules. I think it's not get clicked. Again, we click on modules. Now it's running. In the default page, you see that there are some modules are showing, but some are not showing, like Office 365, Amazon, Google Cloud, GitHub. They are not showing. They are optional features made by Wazuh. They are optional. They will only shown to you when you enable them from here. After you enable them from here, they are going to shown there, but they are not get enable from backend. So you need to enable from them from OSAC file also. There are some optional GDPR, HIPAA is getting enabled. You can disable them from here on if you don't want to see them. If we move next and add agent, so how we add agent, let's we see. We will select our OS, its architecture, and in the localhost I have to give IP of my server where my central component are hosted. So assign the agent to a group. Okay, and default, whatever you information you above you given, a command will be generated that you need to run on your client terminal. Like here I am running this command on this terminal. I need sudo permission to execute this command. Then my agent is also systemd. Then I run this. Okay, my system is getting created. Then as I have started the Wazuh agent, and I will check the status of the Wazuh agent. Okay, I asked Wazuh agent status is up and running. Like go again to the Wazuh agent, and here we will see that our agent is getting connected. We have used 2 VMs, but they are not get connected. because I have not enabled the port. They require the port 15115 for enrollment plus 1514 for connection. One port was missing, so I added that and saved that. And this settings I have done. This settings I have done on server side. At client side I also change the port. Need to change the port. So same 1515 and 1514 port I need to mention. Okay, and 1515. Okay, so our networking part is not pending, which is earlier pending. Now we have done our networking later, so it may take some time to show us the agent. Currently it will show only the one agent, as I have only one EC2. I have two instances. In one instance I have hosted my a server, my center, and then on other instance I am hosting my other stuff. Other stuff means agent. So let's wait, it's running. It will call the API and then show us the screen. Okay, in our case it not it's okay. Now it's showing the total agent is 1, active agent is 1. Okay, in that way we can add agent. This screen will come, which will show the result of the scan of compliance. You will get the event security, how many authentication are passed, and number of logs till we have received an authentication. It continuously takes, as continuously we get the logs from the agent, we will got all the logs here, and we see that PAM session is closed, login session open, CS benchmark, Ubuntu, Linux, and different stuff is available here. Let's we go to we can check our OSEC configuration file first before checking anything else. Then where OSEC etc osec.conf, that if we want to have email notification, then we have to give our email credits here, like but in the email when you add your password, you can't give your password right here. You have to generate a token for third party login, then you mention it here and you are ready to go. Then alert, in which form you want to you have to change here to get the alert. Then it is XML format. All this stuff you are seeing, it is in XML format. Logging, its log format is plain. It is written over that you can use JSON format. Then we have policy monitoring, that root check disabled is not configured, that is by default is enabled, so it's working fine. You can, if you want to disable it, you can disable it, but I don't want to disable it. Hope you liking the video. You please share your feedback with me. don't forget to share. And here you can see that it is disabled, which we have disabled no, that's mean it's getting enabled. Again we have to make disabled no, and if you enable anything you want to enable, then disabled no should be stuck. Somewhere you will find enable key and it's enabled yes. As see vulnerability is enabled not, then we have to select yes. In the vulnerability we want to scan Ubuntu, yes. We want to scan Ubuntu enabled yes, okay. But Red Hat, I don't have Red Hat server, so no, neither Linux image, OS, window, no. So that's end here. Then we have file integrity modules. Then you can see directories which it is checking. By default its frequency is 12 hour. After 12 hour it is do scan, whatever changes is done, it will shown to you. If you want to make it in real time, that just now I am changing anything and it will shown to me, that you can describe here. For that you need to add a key. Let me add key here. Check all yes and whom data yes, okay. With that it will make a real time. Okay, now whenever we do changes, same time it will reflect. Okay, skip NFS. I hope you are understanding or same page with me. That is active response. We can set, we have different commands. We have given the commands disable account, and it will call the executable file disable account whenever active response is calling that. Then we have restart Wazuh. It is calling the restart Wazuh executable file. You can make your own executable file. You have to define it like that slash in command section. So in the same format. There are multiple predefined scripts are there. Here we can add a key, timeout allowed yes. That we don't want these command changes to be permanent. It will get revert after 15, 20, whatever you can want to give, you can give. But if you don't give this timeout all section, then it's problem for you. Then we have active response, then log analysis. Then log analysis we have active response. I will give you example how we can define log analysis. Active response we have saved disabled no, command is using firewall drop, which location, local, agent ID 001, only agent I have, rule ID 5710. You can get the rule ID from rule section or in the event section, you can see. And timeout 300 I have written means 5 minutes. Then our active response is ready. Active response is very powerful and very useful feature. I hope you enjoy this feature. Then we have log analysis. In the log analysis we have df-p. It is written the command we have given, execute frequency 160 we have given. We can save our setting using :wq, as we have opened these settings in VI editor. Then if you go below in the last section what we have, rule test we have. There is one more section I think we have of log file. What log file we will assess? We will assess the active response.log, auth.log, sys.log, and dpackage.log, and any other files you want to add. You can mention it here and in the configuration file of your agent. Then the things will work and you are ready to go. I hope you like this video, and please give me feedback. It's how can I continue to give my involvement in tutorials of different technology of DevOps. I will be very thankful to you all for your valuable feedback. And whenever you do some changes in configuration file like osa.com other file, you must restart your Wazuh services or other services if you are dealing, and then whenever the restart done, you should check the status. If the status is up and running, then it's okay. Otherwise, that the things you have created is not worth, it's not valuable. Okay, like status is up and running. So thank you. Meet you soon in the next video. Thank you. Bye. In this video, we will see how we can use Wazuh Manager, Wazuh Server with the ELK stack. What it differ? Architecture is somewhere different, and endpoint will remain same. In endpoint, we will install the Wazuh agent, which will push the data to Wazuh cluster. Wazuh server is the middle, which receive we can say who can register the agents and start communication with it and receiving the data and performing all the action. And here we have from here we will send the logs to the Elasticsearch cluster. Either it is a single node cluster, but you should make cluster, and through cluster we can, for visualization, we have the Kibana server, which is communicating to Wazuh's cluster and Elastic cluster through their REST API, and through the Kibana REST API, we, the user, communicating with the and seeing how the different graphs are coming out. So architecture is very straight like the old version. Just changes that here we have Kibana Interact, and in the data DB for the logs we have Elasticsearch. So let's start. For today's setup, we have an instance of the capacity large in the AWS. We will do installation first on this. We will follow the guide from the Wazuh official documentation. You can see, you can go to the official documentation of the Wazuh and you will find installing Wazuh with Elastic Stack, and here you can do all-in-one deployment, distributed deployment. If you go, there are comparative metrics will be shown, how Elasticsearch version, OpenDesktop version, and Wazuh Kibana plugin, with which version, with Kibana version they are work according to you choose, and you can go. That is simple architecture or simple functional view of the Kibana architecture, and that's I already shown to you. Let's go to the all-in-one deployment. In this video, we will see how we can do all-in-one deployment. In that, we are using the Ubuntu system. We will use all the command by apt. And let's start. Before starting, I want to give information like we have already uploaded the playlist in the English language, in which we tell what is Wazuh, what is its do, and how we can install it and configure it, and its different module like security, integrity, vulnerability, system auditing, how they work in the full demo is there. You can go and access it, and it will be video number 6. Plus, if you are Indian and know Hindi language, the whole series is available in the Hindi language. ELK stack is also available in this Hindi language. So if you prefer the Hindi, you can go to this playlist. I will give the playlist link in the description also. Okay, so that's one, the distributed one. We are not going to play the distributed one. We will go with the all-in-one setup. All-in-one setup, if I go one step back, in this video we will do, we will create this setup only. We will create a manager, classes Filebeat, Kibana, and Wazuh user. So that's, I hope, clear to you. And let's start our installation. But in the product environment, you should, I will suggest you should go with the distributed version only for higher availability. So it's better if you run all command with root user. And first we will update our repository for so that our repository is up to date. I'm using the Ubuntu version 20.04. I mostly use this version only. If you can wanna go to 22, it's also work there, and there is no issue. Any version you can see. I already described in the my first video which version and what are the criteria of these while you choose instance. So first command, we have some necessary package which have already installed. Then we have Elasticsearch repository. It is the installing Elasticsearch. We are here and we will do first the Elasticsearch repository addition. Okay, created public Elasticsearch imported, total number of proceeded 1, imported 1. Okay, done. Then we will add the repository. First we have done the addition of GPG key, and then we had add the repo. It's saying what is saying. I hope font is very much clear to you. I don't know if font will be the reason. So after addition of the repository, we will update our system again, and then we have to install this particular version of the Elasticsearch. As we are importing the installing the latest version of Wazuh, we are not going to work on old version. If you can go, you instead of Elasticsearch that version, you can mention directly which version you want, and according to that you have to select the plugin and all things. So we are ready with the Elasticsearch. What is saying that download the configuration file elastic.yaml as follow. Okay. Okay, let me to download the. Make sure font is not the issue. Font is visible to you. We have done the certificate creation and deployment. Okay, Let's create certificate. Okay, next command. Okay, next. Certificate creation, as Wazuh is SSL encrypted, we require the SSL certificate. Now what we have done, we have just imported the certificate and Wazuh configuration file. Then we have what we do in the Elasticsearch, we will create a source name folder, and on that we changes authorization plus its permissions. Then uh, we will change inside, we are giving inside different permission, and then after that zip folder we will remove. Okay, system d we will just we have is done with the Elasticsearch part. We can start it. After that, okay, it's, we can check the status, what it is saying. Okay, fine. Now we will we have to generate the credential. Let's create credential. Yes, we will like to continue. If what we will do, we will, for being the time, we will copy all the passwords and put in a notepad for further use. Okay, and again we will increase the size for you. The same output we have got. What it's saying, we run our command like this. Okay, no issue. To check whether we are getting to verify our system. So let me to first put it over here, and elastic password, where we get it, apm kibana elastic. I think elastic password is that. Let's check. If we insert the wrong one, it will give us error. So it will should get our output like this only. One second. This command we will run. Okay, we have the Elasticsearch cluster name, UUID 7.7 default. Okay, that's working fine, and we can move to server part. Elasticsearch is done. We will have to now install our Wazuh server. For that, we will add the repository. Okay, what it's saying, it's saying that's okay, run fine. Oh, sorry, first we have added the GPG key. I wrongly said that. Then we add the repo. First we have added the GPG key, and same we will, after adding the repo, we will update the repository package manager, and after that we will install. By doing this, if you we are not giving the manager particular this manager version, we are going to install the latest version, but while we are doing the Elasticsearch installation, we have given the version because we want to make specific version. We have checked, they have checked Wazuh team and found that this version is okay. Maybe second time the Elasticsearch version changed and it have some bugs and it's not supporting like the older one, so they are not going to when you install the Elasticsearch, you use the specific version, and whenever they are building the Wazuh version, so they are make sure that all Elasticsearch version will be compatible to that. So follow, if you follow the their commands, you will find no issue with the installation part at least. It is our system view. So most of I think we are done with the our second part is the Wazuh manager, but Wazuh manager need to send the logs to Elasticsearch. It can't do by itself, so it needs any bit. So let's check. We have already checked in the system. It has the elastic Filebeat status. We have checked its working fine. Yeah, Filebeat is there. Specific version. This specific version is compatible. If a new version come, they will check. It's just getting downloaded and downloading the dependency. We will download the pre-configured Filebeat configuration file, in which will be hosted in /etc filebeat filebeat.yaml. Okay, I hope this documentation is also clear to you. You can go to the Wazuh documentation and easily you can find. Now alert template, the alert which we got on our system through whenever some rules of Wazuh is broken by any logs. Alert template file module. Filebeat works on basis of modules. It requires modules on which it will go to work, and okay, it's saying to edit the file and add the or password here. Okay, no issue. We will add the password. We need to use the editor. We are although one second. Okay, we are in sort mode now. We will choose again password of the Elasticsearch, and we will replace it over here. Okay, shift insert. I hope it's fine, and we will save it and come out of it. Okay, it's saying once, can we verify again that it's updated? Okay, updated, fine. Just copy these commands, etc filebeat search, and we are just putting the search key under it, because we want the SSL encrypt all the modules, all the parts of we can test, we can watch status also before checking. Okay, its status is fine. Wow. When you do Filebeat test output, it is pointing to a localhost Elasticsearch, which is listening on API 9200 and checking the connection. It's everything is okay, and it's also saying that if so that you can go to third module, that is our Kibana plugin, and again we are adding the specific Kibana version plugin. After that, we have to move the search key, change the authorization and permissions over here. Let's wait for the Kibana downloading. Kibana for visualization is very good, very good graph you will see here. Grafana is also there, and but Kibana for UI is both are good, but I like Kibana much. That's my personal. I'm not against the Grafana, but personally I like the Kibana. Okay, we have run all the commands. I hope we are doing good. Download the Kibana configuration file. Okay. In the all-in-one version, you are not doing much. Okay, again we need to go inside the kibana.yaml, and instead of Vim VI, we will use Vim. VI is giving, I'm working on a browser and it's giving some error. I'm not using my terminal. You can use your terminal also. Terminal is good choice. Let me paste the password over here, and when you do the I'm saying I forgot the thing. When you do the distributed version, you have to make the changes to multiple things. That from this localhost you need to go to specific IP, need to you point out, or if you have a URL, you need to point over there. If you have a version or cluster of the Elasticsearch, you can need to point all the IPs over there. Okay, now we are done with that part. We have replaced the value. Let's run these commands. Connection gone with me. 1 second. Okay, I have just restarted sudo su. Light gone from here. Sudo su root. Run the command. Okay, it's done. After that, we will install the Wazuh Kibana plugin, like we have done for Filebeat. We need a plugin to be installed for Wazuh is a SSL encrypted, so all communication we will having on 443 only. Daemon reload, start Kibana. Let's check its status. I hope you are very much aware with the start command, enable command, daemon reload command. When we do some system changes, we need to reload the daemon, and after that to make the application available after boot also. You need to enable it. Then to start the app, we need this. Then to check the status. Now what it's saying, the assess the web URL from generating password, and like this. Okay, no issue. And we will go below. First we will access our system. It's saying that was server IP na. Okay, https like this. Okay, it's showing. It will give you your connection is not private warning like that. You just need to ignore that and hide advanced, proceed to unsafe. Don't pay much attention to this, and you are ready. Our configuration is mostly successful. I hope you are liking the video. Should be configured in production environment. Okay, we are not in a production environment. So what is our user? Is the Elastic is our user, and password, Elastic only, not space over here. This is the password which we are using to log in. While it getting loaded, I will complete this disabling repository. It is saying that what it is saying, like I earlier mentioned to you, there are specific versions which are compatible with the Wazuh, and if you are not going to disabling this repository, what can be happen like that, new repository getting updated, and someone run the command sudo apt upgrade, and all these your application will be getting upgraded to the latest version, or according to your app repository version. So that version might be not compatible. So in case, what you can do, your system will go down. So best practice is that after installation, you disable the repository, and in future if you want to upgrade to a specific version, not to latest version, you must be specific with the version. You can enable the repository and go to particular that version. So that's why you should do this. You should follow this practice. So we are here, and it's working fine. Total agents, agent 0, it's just a system. Same, you can see, or visualization is same, but we have Elasticsearch with us, and because Elasticsearch is very much popular with the Wazuh, because all the organization are using Elasticsearch for very long time. OpenSearch is still new, and if you are having Elasticsearch already there, you can use the same Elasticsearch to configure our Wazuh, and security events, integrity, vulnerability, system auditing we have already saw. And this is the look of the your Wazuh. Everything is same, not difference. Vulnerabilities, might attack settings, modules. Let me we check the modules section. Is there any extra feature is there? Okay, default are security events integrated with Office 365. GitHub is also there. GitHub is the newly added features over there, but I can't show you demo over there because I have not implemented this demo because we require the GitHub Enterprise version. It is very good for enterprise version. Auditing policy, these are some system auditing, and these are the default version which you will get, and you can enable this version from here. Threat detection and response, virus total, Docker listener. This is new. I don't find this in old version, in Wazuh default version with open search. OS query was there. Whereas total I don't mind was not there. Regulatory compliance are there. Or regulatory compliance are full. All these 5 options was there. What are the configurations are they saying? IP selector I ignore. So we are done with the our Wazuh setup of all-in-one. What is going to be if you compare what is going to be changed in the second version? If you see the go to the distributed version from here, everything is present in the official documentation. It is a Elasticsearch. It is saying that distributed means the you have the setup on different nodes, and you are having the highly available structure. In that last is a single node cluster or multi-node cluster we will use, and that everything we had done installation of single instance only. But in that case, we will have the Elasticsearch different installed and cluster or single node or multi-node. We have 3 different instances for visualization Kibana on different. At least we have the 3 node. In today's video, we will discuss and implement demo. How can we run Wazuh on Docker environment? We will do single node deployment in which we deploy one Wazuh manager, one indexer, and one dashboard. We have multi-node deployment also. In that we have a set of 2 nodes. One will act as master and one act as worker node, and 3 Wazuh indexer node which will act as cluster, and a Wazuh dashboard node. For today's video, we are just focus on single node deployment. If you don't getting the idea of what is Wazuh manager, what is indexer, you should go to our playlist. We have playlist in both language, in English and in Hindi, in which we have discussed what is the basic architecture, how it's work, and how is different modules work, and how we can do installation on a bare metal on a simple Ubuntu machine. So for today's video, we are going to create an instance of Ubuntu 20.04 image. I am going to take T3A large because I need at least 6 GB RAM. So I don't have any option. So I'm using the 3A large, and using a security group which is have 443 enable, from where I can get the dashboard API and some attaching 30 GB disk to it. So there is no space issue. We will see when we will do for implementation. So let's go to running instance and connect the SSH client. I have uploaded the same video in Hindi language. Now I'm making this in English language for the viewers who only understand the English language. It should get connected this time. Meanwhile, we will go to the documentation. So in the documentation, yeah, it's connected. It is saying that how we need to do some pre-requirement container memory at least 6 GB GB of memory. I already told you. Maximum count of Docker host we need to set. If you're not going to set this, your indexer is not going to work properly. I've already tested all the things. So to save time, to run the commands without sudo, I will go in the root user and run this command, and it's giving me the result that it is set. Now we can go further to next. If you want to make this permanent, because if you do reboot, this setting will gone, but I'm not going to use this in my future, so I'm going just temporary setting. you in the etc system conf file, you just you have to mention these settings to for permanent changes. And Docker engine, uh, like it is saying that we need a Docker engine which have the kernel version 3.10 or later. Kernel version shouldn't be smaller than that. So let's check our kernel version of Ubuntu machine. It is 5.15, much more. So it's satisfying that condition too. So we are ready with the installation part. We can do installation from the Docker website, or if you don't want to go to manual steps, it is scripts which is provided by Wazuh. You just need to run on your system and you will see step by step it is doing the installation, same like we do from our Docker site, Docker official site, or any other site you are preferring to install. It is just doing the repository update, then it is doing the upgrade, some dependencies going to install, then it's creating a repository for to store key, then adding the key, then it's adding the repository, and then it's again updating the repository, and then it is doing the installation for Docker. In the Docker, in the latest version of Docker, we got Docker Compose installed with it, but we need a particular version of the Docker Compose. So first we start it, then we talk about the Docker Compose. We need some Docker Compose version specific, so we will download its binary. Okay, binary is getting downloaded. Okay, let's check this version. It should be version 2.12.2. Okay, same version we are getting, version 2.12.2. like here we seen. Let's move to Wazuh implementation. As I have told earlier, we are just doing the single node installation. So for that we need some certificate, some files there. So download this repo, particular this 4.3.10 branch. Wazuh Docker is the repo name. It has some readme file version, build Docker images is syntax multi-node single node. We just need to go inside the single node. Okay, we need to edit it, generate index asserts. Okay, it's saying that use this image version assert 001 to and generate the certificate, create the volume. Just go just below in the it's a YAML file, so indentation is very important in that. It's saying that if your system is support this proxy, then you can add that, otherwise you can go there. So we will add it here only. Environment. Okay, just save this column WQ and save. Okay, we have done with this particular file setting, and we will create our certificate. Certificates are a very important part of for us because Wazuh is a security tool, and security tool must be safe. So SSL encryption provide extra safety, so you should go with it. If you do ls of the config, what is created, yeah, that Wazuh indexer SSL certs, it's created there, so it's fine now. We can download it. We can see there whether this code created or not. So you can say that admin.key dashboard key.pam dashboard and indexer key manager key.pam, they are all created. So if you go to again here, these fives are key for the indexer, these three keys are for the manager, and rest three are for the dashboard. If you have your own certificate available with you, you can create your own certificate, you can use them, but mostly I don't see companies are using their own certificate. They are using cloud provider certificate, or as Docker Wazuh providing to you the server, you can use that. So now we are at our getting an end state. You can run this interactively or non-interactively. So which we will prefer. In the Hindi video I have created this, and okay, let's create it by non-interactive method only. Okay, what it will do, Docker Compose up. Docker Compose is a utility to control the Dockers, but on comparison with the Kubernetes, it can't be compared, because Kubernetes can handle over 1,000 or more than that number of containers. 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 10, 20 containers. If you have, we can just manage them by Docker Compose easily. If you have a very small infrastructure and just a small application, you can use Docker Compose. If you think that your business can grow rapidly, very fast, or if you are not thinking like that, that's depends upon your use case only. What is your use case? How much traffic you will going to get? So after this video, I will share one more video how can we deploy it on Kubernetes. Main purpose of sharing videos on the Docker is that you got the because you should know how to run the Docker Docker or images of Wazuh. Images is provided by the Wazuh. You don't need to write a Docker file for that. You can get that like same. We are getting downloading or pulling the images from public repository for 3 component: indexer and dashboard plus manager. 3 component are getting installed. Let's wait for it. I'm going to pause the video. It will take around 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, here we can send processes are completed. It's created the single node manager, indexer and dashboard. Let's see by doing docker ps. So that is the container IDs of the first dashboard, which is available on 443, and that's manager, which have 514 port available, that is API port, same like we have the ports availability in the normal Wazuh setup on bare metal. Same ports we are having. For indexer API, it's exposed in 9200, so that's good. Here we can copy this public IP and we will HTTPS insert. Okay, I hit we hit the public IP of the instance where Docker was installed. So you will go to a stance, it's responded or it's asking to proceed to unsafe. So no need to worry about unsafe, you can just proceed. So Wazuh is loading. 50% of the chances are that you are get the right things. We need the ID and password. Here is the ID and password. ID is admin, username, and password is okay. It's doing this logging. It will call all the API and check all API are working or fine or not. Okay, all API are working fine. So we get this window. Uh, all options are same. Current agent is as we have this fresh Wazuh setup. So we haven't add any agent. How we can add agent? It will remain same as in my old videos. You have already seen how we can run this module. We have a all-in-one video and descriptive video of all the modules, so you can go easily and run all the modules easily. And if you yeah, you go here, same, everything is just same. Modules, let me check here also, is there any difference in the module section? Any extra module is coming? GitHub, Cloud Command, they are default module, you can see on screen. If you enable them from here, you can also see on screen that. In this video, we are going to see how we can create multi-node deployment of Wazuh. As you can see, I have created this deployment on multi-node. In that we have two manager, one is acting as a master and one is acting as a worker, and three indexer node, which is our database, and we are only using one node for our dashboard. If you remember, we have already done the single node deployment in which we have deployed one manager, one indexer, and one dashboard. And if you are new to channel, in the last video we have done that. Okay, so let's come to today video. What we are doing, we are going to achieve this. We are going to make one dashboard, three indexer, and two manager node. One will act as a worker and one will act as a manager. For that, we are going to use this particular documentation of Wazuh. That's the single node deployment, and that is our multi-node deployment. That's we are going to use. I've already created this. Let me to delete this, and we will continue from scratch. Okay, now we are ready. We have removed the deployment. If we check Docker PS, there's no container, and if we check the images, there are no images. There are some prerequisites for this working tutorial. You have at least of 6 GB memory instance. I am using the T3A large for better performance. So here we can start. Clone this repository. It is a public repository, so you don't need any kind of creds to download it. Once it gets cloned, you have to go inside it. It's Wazuh Docker, and Docker with Docker Compose should be installed under it. We have already seen how we can install the Docker and Docker Compose in the previous video. So here we have to go into multi-node, and if you do ls into multi-node, what you will find there is a docker compose file which will help us to control all the containers, and there is generate indexer certs. Before doing anything, we have to generate the certs. Let's open this file, and what is documentation is saying, we have to add this particular things in this file. Go to insert mode. Yeah, just below the volumes, and it is a YAML file. We have to take care of the syntaxes, and that's look perfect. Once it get saved, it will look like that, same what we have done, and we have to run this particular command to generate the certs. What this particular command is doing, it's creating the certs and making it stored in the indexer, like this for the indexer, this for the manager, and that's for the dashboard. Same way it will go under that. So we are ready with the our certificate part. We can go and we can run the docker compose. If we want to run the docker compose in the foreground or in the background, we have different commands. It's better to run this in the background. It start pulling the images, and will create the docker container for Wazuh. While it's pulling the images and run the container, we explore some things on that. What's after that? Here you can we have made the docker container from using this repo, and this repo is calling the images from the public images of the Wazuh. We can do, or we can create our own images and make some changes. Here is the link here, and we have to just clone this particular repo. When we clone this, it's have the docker files which have the code like for indexer, for dashboard, for manager, and we will through docker compose we will build that, and we will have that particular images. And what is saying for version 3 or above, run the image creation script. You can, if your version is 4.3 and above, you can use this particular script. And what is saying that here, like someone in the comments section asked me how we can change the password. I think, yeah, admin password. If you are using the images part, you are here you will find how you can change the password of the user. You have to run this command and have to enter the new password. And if you are running on bare metal or VM, there is a script you will find in this documentation only for that. We will look for that after that. Here we can take more comment of people till it's getting deployed. Okay, secure dashboard page of Wazuh. When we open the Wazuh page, it show us like that this page is insecure. That's just because we have our own signed certificate. If we have a signed certificate from authorized authorities which browser approve, it will not show then. I think it will make cost if I have to purchase this certificate. So currently I can't try that. Thanks for your feedback. Yep, it's you can change, but Wazuh works only on 443. If we try to change it, it will create problem for us, because it should be run on HTTPS only. If you try to run it on 80 port 80, it will not, API will not work. Okay, yeah, how to change the file and password. In the images we have seen, I will share the link of Linux script which you can change, through which you can change your password. Actually, this one question, it's not coming up. There is a command like sudo systemctl enable and service name. When you run the particular command, like you have to run the sudo systemctl enable Wazuh dashboard, then your application will automatically came up. And I gave public IP to Wazuh server. How to configure local window agent? Can you please tell me? Okay, uh, if you are saying that I gave public IP, when you give public IP, it is reachable from your Windows server, your Linux server, and all the machines. And if you go through the official documentation, there is a process given how we can configure the Wazuh agent on Windows. Actually, there is a problem with the sharing code. Someone is asking for the code, because sometime I will look for that, how we can close it. So wait, okay, we have taken the question as much as possible. Now we are ready with, now you can see containers are created. Wazuh dashboard is there, Wazuh indexer is there, manager, 2 manager is there, and 3 indexer are there. Okay, that they are the image that have pulled, which we have seen. We can create our own images, and we are at here. If you see that security, okay, that's are all the port. When you create your own images, you have to keep as these are the API port. When you want to hit the API of the particular component, you have to use that particular port. Now we are here, we have done with the deployment. We copy the HTTP, yes, okay, that's it is showing as insecure, because here you can check certificates are not valid, because they are our own signed certificates. Here they issue to Wazuh dashboard, organization is Wazuh, and issued by, there is a no name. Here we require the name of some organization which is authorized and approved to the browsers, and there is a list of authorities who provide the certificate. If you use that particular certificate, that this error will go on. Okay, that's the validity time. Now here we know this is our certificate, they are safe, we can proceed. If we go back here, goes to login into it, we need password. That one. We have admin as a username and a secret password as an password. Wait for it while it gets load. After this video, I'm going to upload the video how we can run the Wazuhs on Kubernetes, as to control the Docker container environment properly. We have to move to Kubernetes, because once we scaled, we have to increase the number of our master or worker node, and we also have to increase the number of our indexers. Okay, we will see how we can create the whole circuits through all things through Kubernetes. So we are ready with it. We can add the agent. There is a process is given here in the last, I think. Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to our channel To The Point. In this video we will explore the Wazuh modules security events. If you viewer of our channel, you have already, I assuming that you have already seen this video in which I have introduced the Wazuh, what is Wazuh and how we can install it and do its configuration. If you want to see all stuff in Hindi language, it is already available with all modules. You can go there to watch in Hindi language. So let's start today's video. We have agent which is connected and it is active also. We have already seen that how we can add the agent. So let's move to our today topic, security events. When you click on the security events, it will give you a dashboard like this, that in which total logs and how much authentication success will be done and how much authentication failure is gone, and metric attacks and other agent logs you can see there. And then you will have the events or alerts or logs, whatever the events are going on your agent, it will be shown to you. Here in the agent we will see like that on date, what time, from what agent we will getting it, and that is what kind of, if I minimize it, you can see that what is the rule level which is breached and what are the rule ID which is firing. And if you go again inside, then you can see it will give the lat long, giving the name of the country, agent, its own master, and this kind of stuff. You can location of the file from where to getting the logs. You should see that if we try to log in our agent in that command, if you go, it will open the session and we are here at our agent. Okay, and if you go back to Wazuh agent, that to check what is the current status, yeah, you can see that an authentication success is we are getting. If you see from India, I have done, my city is showing Ludhiana, my lat long and other stuff that are not more exact, but somehow near to exact. It's not my home location, it is my operator location it is showing. If I again refresh it, it's given the login session opened and authentication success. Okay, and if I do the exit, it will show us the alarm of SSD session close. It should give, and the alarm from SSD non-existent user, someone, I think that that now come login session that we have already that we have done close our session. And one more thing, if someone from internet just try to attack on some user, that's why it's showing like that from South Korea and others thing, someone is trying to log in my server. If I show you one thing, Ubuntu is the user of my system of agent. If I try to log in with the from any name, YouTuber, sorry, YouTuber, it will permission denied. That's kind not a name we are having. You can see that it will give error of a non-existent user trying to oh yeah, that's it will take some time, but fast enough to gather data. If you see and go in the logs, Ludhiana, India, same location mine, someone is wrongly trying to assess the hello friends, welcome to our channel To The Point and our fourth video of Wazuh tutorial. We have already seen security events, integrity monitoring, and now we will see vulnerability. And you can see that by default there is no report, no scan till happen. And if I give you just for information, you can watch the old tutorial how to install, how to set up these two modules, and then you can go for. And if you want to watch in Hindi language, then you can watch through this. So let's start today's video. We have already I have described to you, we have a very important file or a very important file location which we have osec.conf. In that osec.conf we need to find the vulnerability section, and vulnerability section is by default not enabled, means it is disabled. So what we have to do, we have to make it enable for here, and Ubuntu OS vulnerability name, like here we have to, it is also not enabled, we have to make it enable from here. It's from the Ubuntu system, and that is for Debian, all kind of Debian system. Enable for info. If you want to use Red Hat, for current time I don't have Red Hat server and don't have Linux machines, not have Arch OS, Windows OS. So that's the end of vulnerability section. And that setting, after doing this setting, what we do, you remember we have to restart our manager service of the Wazuh. And if you go to the setting of official documentation, what is saying that you have to make it enable, which is by default disabled, that we have done. For different OS we need to do that. You can follow and then restart manager. Plus it is saying that you have to add the Moodle to your agent configuration, but it might have, let's first check this. Master configuration is done, then we move to agent configuration. Okay, it's working fine. And we recently opened that, I hope that one. It is saying that there are two locations, either to agent.conf or osec.conf. It is syscollector. Moodle is syscollector. Okay, Moodle is syscollector, disabled no. It is what it is saying, disabled no. Internal is 1R. OS is yes. Package yes. Hotfix is yes. Disable no. Okay, interval is 1R. Start on. Process yes. So no difficulty here. I don't think we need to change something here. We just save it. restart the agent service. And check its status. Okay. It's not going to result on a quick session. It will do scan and okay, now we are ready with the result. It's showing us the scan. It had 22 critical, high, medium, different types of warning level, and giving the different dashboard. And here we have our scan result, and here you can watch the events of the related to the vulnerability section and do the upgradation to your system. Okay, that's all from. Hello friends, welcome to our channel To The Point, and our Wazuh tutorial number 5. We have already done security events, integrity monitoring, and vulnerability module, and now in today tutorial we will do system auditing. And by default system auditing is also not configured. You have to configure it if you want to use it. How you can configure it. And before going further, I will want to show you the playlist which have 3 videos in English language, and same we have in Hindi language. It's already complete package of all the modules and all the stuff, how you can do installation and use the module, and other tools are also available like logging to do and Azure, AWS. You can go and watch here. And let's continue to today's video. By default it is not configured, so what you can do, it's our agent profile. Let's do some. You need to first check is the audit services configured on your agent or not. No, there is no service. Then what you need to do is apt-get. Only apt-get will not going to help me. I need sudo. So through this I will configure this by using this command. So what is our next in our what's the we need to add this. Okay, and if you go to that is our official documentation, it is saying that to system start and enable that, and okay, it's telling us how we can use it. So okay, no issue. I give you a simple demo of how can we observe a user through this. Let me start enable this, and we will check it service status. Okay, that's running fine. And sec slash etc slash osec.conf. We have already done many name changes to this file. Simple vi is not going to help. We need sudo permission. Okay, so in the last section of this we have the different file which it's going to take the logs like con.log, dpkg log. Here we need to add this. We need to audit.log. We want to make logging of that file also. it's what is saying that local file is the no, it's fine, and its location is where log audit.log, and we need to also need to log that. By logging that, we can configure we can monitor that logs. We can restart the agent. Okay. Need sudo with that, and what it do, like I'm a Ubuntu user, I wanna 1000 is that, no? 1000. There is a rule file in the /odt rule. It is saying that user ID. What is my user ID is 1000. I wanna trace my user. In case I am there, it can be Mohan, Rohan, any user can be there. So first open this file. Okay. I think I done a mistake here. It's not etc, it is /etc. Now copy this, paste here. I hope this will work fine. And we have done some changes. Then audit this command will help you to enable this rule. Okay, I must be a root, then I will become root. Okay, so that is most of our configuration part to configure the audit bit. So let's go to the section and okay, it start a configure now. Earlier it's not showing any command, nothing was showing me. And in the event section is configuration changed. Okay, that's fine. Logs are also coming. Now see, let's see the real-time monitoring of that user. Okay, now it's working. Like whatever command you okay, now it's tracing the command, and if you rm and what we can do, touch ksk and rm ksk, it will reflect you here. If we do refresh again, yeah, that. And if you go to detail, that will show you what is you are doing there, what exactly in complete detail. We have first touch, then we have rm. So earlier it's not showing what we have doing right. If I show you like that, we need to pass the command like here only, etc audit.roles. In that way we do echo, and I have done this by going under the my second user, that is my root user. From here I perform this activity. Now it's working fine. So process will remain same. Go to your root user and perform this, and you will find that the command execution of your user is now getting traced, and you will find same. If you go to dashboard, it should reflect here also like that. Audit CTL ls vm vi touch. This command has been used by user, and how much time a portion of the command is delivered. In that way you can configure the audit bit. So that's it. We meet you in next video. If you have some suggestion, please write to me, and if you have some feedback please provide. I will thankful to you. Hello friends, welcome to our channel To The Point and Wazuh tutorial video number 3. Already 2 videos are uploaded on the in which we have seen the installation, introduction and security module, and all the stuff we have on Hindi. You can watch if you want to in Hindi language, and other stuffs are also there in channel. You can watch and go there. If we come to today video, security events already done. Today topic is the integrity monitoring. Integrity monitoring I have already explained in the theory part. What is that? Now we see how we can achieve it through Wazuh. If you have just done the installation, it is by default disabled. You have to make it enabled. You need to on the Wazuh module. I have already described you all the necessary configuration. Let's edit them. So let's open the file. We will do sudo vi /var osec etc.conf file. Here we will find the global configuration and police monitoring and if integrity directory. Scan on start, yes. File integrity module is not disabled, it is enabled but its frequency is 43200. It's near about 12 hours. So it will publish your reports after 12 hours. So what here we can do, directories, okay, files to ignore /etc volatile. This file it is going to ignore, and this directories it will going to check, and it will check, and after changes are going, it will publish after 12 hours. So here it is going to end. Okay, so what we can do for our demo purpose, if I have this, yes, I need with directory you need to pass this. If you pass this, what will be happen, your modules will do the monitoring on real-time basis. And where you can pass this, we have directories here. In that way, okay, that way. I hope that is fine. Sure, that's fine. Okay, now sudo system ctl restart Wazuh manager.service, because you are doing changes in your configuration file, and if but the changes you have done, if they are okay, it will successfully restart it. Yeah, it's not given any error, so let's check status. Yes. Okay, now we have done changes at master site. I don't think it will reflect the if we are at agent side. Let's move to etc. Sorry, slash via slash etc. And let me to make touch test file. Okay, it's not giving me permission to create here, so we will use sudo permission and ls what file name we have given, test file, it is there, ls-l. So today only this is got created. Okay, and if we check here in the events, are the events coming? If we go back to Wazuh home and it's loading, and integrity monitoring, we will go, no, it will not reflect. So what we need to do in the agent side, we also have osecon file. Let's check here. What is the configuration here? Root check disabled. No. Here also we can add that keyword. It is available on I'm not writing it from my own mind. It is available on the official documentation. I'm also following the same. And sudo system ctl restart. Here we are having service by name of Wazuh agent, and we will restart it, and then we will check its status, and everything is fine. We hope for the result. Okay, we are having here result, and again we will touch and make second attempt dot txt. Permission denied, sorry. We need sudo permission here. Okay, file is got created. Now go to our portal, and now here come that it is saying that the on Jan 11:35 this file is got created, added to the system. And if we go to the dashboard, user is the root agent that file added to the system. If we refresh, we can refresh. I hope we can. That is not just updated, it will take some time. The whole scan is going on, and it's not about only the when we can connect. If we go sudo vi, if we do sudo vi to second attempt.txt and enter just random data, it should also reflect there that it has received some data. It must be if we refresh it. Okay, fine, it's working very fine. There is someone is modifying it. System check integrity. That's the way it works. And in the dashboard it also reflect added, there's modified. If I in that way it's showing. Graph for half is modified, half is added. File integrity checksum. So in this video we will see how we can create Wazuh on Kubernetes cluster. We have already seen and created the demo how we can create Wazuh on container environment of Docker using Docker Compose. We have created already multi-node plus single node deployment there. Here are some prerequisites. Cluster should be there, and we need 2 core of CPU, 3 gig of memory RAM plus 2 gig of storage. Here is the overview requirement for our deployment of a pod for our object. Like we have to deploy indexer and manager plus dashboard. And indexer, as indexer saved the logs, we should have to maintain the state, and we have to keep the logs stored in safe. So we will create stateful set for that. Same for manager here, and for dashboard, which we only use for UI purpose, is we can create deployment there. Here are some services which we will configure. We will configure 3 services for 3 component, and here are the ports which we are dealing from day one. These are the API ports which will remain same. These are, we have already worked on that. So let's continue the deployment. Okay, let's start the demo, and you will see things, how the things are working. Let's paste it. It is an open or public repository. We are going to download it, and then after that we will move into it. Under that, what we have one directory with the Wazuh and one directory with the env. Here in the env we have values of which suitable or which are compatible with the EKS cluster, and there are some local environment clusters also. But if you want to create for EKS or GKE, you have to change this value accordingly, and you have to make the changes according to that. And here you can see in the Wazuh we have the base. Under base we have this storage class. Storage class we require, as we need storage to make the logs persistent and make our stateful set. Here everything which we will work under the namespace Wazuh. And if we go to certs folder, currently there are only scripts is already available there, not the certs. We will create after that. First we see what is in the indexer stack. Here we have the dashboard deployment file. We have already seen in the documentation that we will creating deployment only for the dashboard. For other, we are creating the stateful set. It's link repository link is available on official documentation. When you here are some the environment variable it's passing, same way it's creating its service, and if you can see that service, its port is 443 and target port is 5601. Okay, 5601 is the API port of the dashboard. Here is the configuration file like opensearch.yaml. It not opensearch.yaml, it's dashboard.yaml. The value will be placed on the dashboard.yaml or in the /etc dashboard under that, and this value will be replaced there. Okay, and then we see configuration of the indexer. We can make switch. We have the cluster STS. Okay, the template volume mounts init container. Init containers are required as a dependency for other containers. In that way you can explore the things. Here you can see services 9300. That's the indexer SVC. This port is used for internal communication of the indexer. API services. Okay, after that we have done the base, we have done with the certs, we have the indexer style, we have the secrets like username, password. There are so many things. We have not keep this thing as in plain text. Here's the base 64 encrypted things. If you wanna see how we can encrypt the things, you should go to our channel and you can watch there. We have videos of Kubernetes basic tutorial like secret map, config map. So you things how to understand these things are it will make easy for you. We are making the kind means object type is secret. All we are passing the user all in encrypted form. If you not pass in encrypted form, it will not accept it, and we will our deployment is getting fail. That's for last. We have the manager service 1516. Okay, cluster port STS stateful set. We are making all the application which are critical to us and where we want data to be persist at any cost. We should make the stateful set there. Okay, that's much to explore. You have to go to it. It's just it will just take you to, I think, up to 30 minutes to explore all the thing, and we will come back to our deployment. Here we have to run these scripts to generate this certificate. Certificates are important part of Wazuh, as whenever we do deployment, we have to make sure that our deployment is secure and on HTTPS. For that we require certs. We are making our own created certs. If you see here, certs are created. Let me run one more command, then we will see. Here certs are there. Earlier we just have one wait, it should reflect here. One second, again open it. Here you can see that in the certs indexer we have lots of keys are there, plus same way you can see here are available. we are ready with this certs. Okay, storage class is also there. There is no issue. What I'm looking for to create the deployment. Apply -k environment EKS. When you run this particular command, what it will do, it will initiate and starting to deploy all the YAMLs which we have seen of indexer stack, dashboard stack, plus manager stack with values from env EKS. And till now we will see. Yeah, if you have other type of cluster, you have to make the things little, you have to change just little things, and then you are ready with your particular environment if you have on-prem or other cloud hosted. And once it is done, we have to verify the things they are running perfectly or not. Okay, it is not going to make much time. You can see that it's got created. Okay, what it's saying to us, we have to kubectl get name, and we have grep particular that it is Wazuh, which is created and 77 seconds. So that's, now we can check this service is created or not. Here you can check dashboard is created with load balancer is 443319558. Okay, indexer. Okay. Okay, services are created, and here you can see that 4 indexer for Wazuh. We have used 3 indexer. To avoid that, because it is just a general type of format, we should use the ingress, and by using this we should only use one load balancer. Here you can see kubectl get deployment -n Wazuh. Okay, dashboard is in a ready state and it's available. Now we can verify our stateful set, they are created or not. Yeah, they are also ready. In the last we will see kubectl get ports -n Wazuh. Okay, we have done with the deployment. Let me to check on portal. Let's access the services. Here you can see that kubectl get service -o -white, and dashboard is load balancer type, and its DNS is showing. In the AKS, earlier I have made all the videos on AKS. We don't get this DNS. We usually get the IP over there. We don't get DNS endpoint. So here HTTPS. And put our DNS over there. Let's wait for it. Okay, it's not private. Okay, proceed. Okay, it's working. What is the ID password? Yes, this is the ID for admin and secret password, and we don't need to run it over localhost. Just we can verify from here. Admin Let's wait for it. It will call all the APIs, and then it will start load. Okay, API is hitting. Now services are loaded, and we are ready with it. Once we have done, we can go with the installation of agent, and then what we have, if we want to upgrade, we can go through it, and how to clean up. Like if we create it on EKS, we have to go through this, or if we have to create it on other cluster, we can use that environment. And first we delete this. Kubectl will delete env EKS. It's work very fast, and all the objects which we created will delete. And then we have persistent volume. Yeah, that one we can delete in that way. We have to manually delete that in this way only. Yeah, if you see, no, it's not present there. In that way you can delete, and all the things will clean up. And here with the new video of Wazuh. If you are following the playlist, we have already seen the multiple things. We have done the introduction part, installation part, configuration part. Then we have the different modules, integrity modules. We have already done demo of that, and we are very much comfortable with that. But we need some kind of alert system when the rule is getting breaked or rule is firing. So what we can do, we can do the integration. If you go to the official documentation of the Wazuh, and in the user manual you will find the references of the local OSCONF. We are already working with the OSCONF. We have done integrity and other module configuration over there, and the changes according to that. And the integration part, in the particular integration part, you have the you can go over here, and you will see there are lots of things you can configure over that. And we are just going over here in the integration part, and in the XML file of our osc.conf, you already know that if the location that is in the var/osc/etc. osc.conf is the location. Under this file we will describe a new section of the integration. It will start from here and end it with here. We have the different option of hook URL, API key, label, rule ID group, and event location, alert, max log. So what are the if you have a Slack integration, then let's go to the example directly. This part for the Slack, name for the reference that it is a Slack integration. It is described under the integration part. In that you know better that we have a hook URL in the webhook URL in the Slack, which used by a third party to send information to the particular channel. For example, if the alert channel is there, you will just create the webhook for this particular Slack and put it over here and then we have the label. Label are the its value of the alert type from 0 or 1 to 14 or 15. Different level is recognized to, like 0 is just a warning, minor, you can neglect that, and ignore that. And above 10 to 15, it is very serious alerts you are getting, and on the groups which where you want to send, and which alert will be sent which are above 10, and alert format is in JSON only. And if you go just above, if you open the level, it will tell you that any level 0 to 16, then we have rule ID group. It is all the definition of the we have, you will get over there. And just like that, we have 10 multiple location. Then we have PagerDuty, we can go same like, it's just a matter of this XML configuration. You just need to put over there and they will start working. And same like here, you are at in the virus store, you are entering the API key, and last is the webhook again, and is the custom integration. You can add your custom integration rather than Slack and other things. Just you need to add the API key and mention the groups, like what are the groups definitions saying here, any group or comma separated rule groups. Okay, you can mention over here rule ID also, like if particular rule ID 5710 or 5727 which you want to monitor, and if this particular rule is getting breaked, you must get high alert or just warning message, then you can set like that. So
hello friends, welcome to Original Tech on Target. It will be our 11th video on Wazuh. In this particular video, we will see how we can monitor the container environment. If I give you the quick information about our channel and videos till we have made, we have seen what is Wazuh, how we can do installation configuration in Wazuh, its different modules. Then we see its different way of installation by using Docker or directly on Kubernetes. We have done installation in the last video on EKS. Here we are focusing on our today video, which is, you see, it is the container security. Container security, all the information you will find on official doc. And if you say here, it just need to click over here to start it. It's saying that you first have to install some dependencies over here, like Python, pip, and Python Docker library. Here is this link. Dependency, we can install only Linux server. Either it is of Yum flavor or apt flavor, means it is a Debian or Red Hat flavor. Like you can first update the repository and install the pip Python 3. And pip 3, using pip 3 you install the or upgrade the pip. Here you install the Python 3 pip. Then in the last you have the dependency of Python Docker library. Currently here is the Docker 4.2.0. So just run this command on the machine where you want to deploy a Wazuh agent for this particular purpose. pip3 install Docker 4.2.0. Then you are ready. You have download installation dependency part is done. Now you are ready to monitor Docker server. Now move to next part, monitoring Docker server. We have seen multiple features, like if you see here, we have done vulnerabilities, integrities, security check. Oh, there are multiple features, active response. You can see here all the features are available here. How we can achieve that? If you want to know about this feature, you go to video or you just click over here. You will move to Wazuh documentation and you can learn about this if you don't know about these features. All these features are contained in what we have to do to configure it. just go above. As you know, whenever we are installing or enabling, disabling any modules on Wazuh, what we are doing, we are just going to OSEC file, as it's inherits its property from OSEC. It's very famous monitoring tool. We just need to add a boodle in the where OSEC etc osec.conf file. It is a centralized config. So it will start a new thread to listen the Docker events. Already there are multiple events it's listening, like vulnerabilities, integrity, different. There are lots of logs file, it's collecting logs. Now by using this, it start to listen the Docker logs. If you if disable yes here, it will not listen. Then restart the Wazuh service, and this would is need to be added only where we may have more than 100 and number of agents, but we have to add this model only in the server where our Docker is running. So when we add this model, it start fetching logs of the container. And now if we come back here, after monitoring security, we have seen the configuration, but we just need to add one model only. Then we will see its use case. What is the use case? Like someone run the command docker start Apache, means what it's saying that docker start, there is a container by a name of Apache, and we are giving the command to start the container. What it will do, it will just go, uh, it will start getting its log and fetching it. That's it's the agent ID and the agent name on it's our first agent. It will give us the description that it's run the command container rich installation. And same way, we will get alerts in the form of JSON. It's the JSON format. We will get the alert if we want on our Slack PagerDuty. I've already told you we also need to add a Moodle for Slack or whatever PagerDuty you want. Then if we move next, first we start the container. Now we are going to stop the container. This alert is generated by using the command. Whenever someone execute this command, alert will be generated that someone had stopped the. You can customize this alert when you want to get notified, when you don't want someone. Same, whenever some post it Apache or whatever container, it will in this form of JSON, it will send you the alert. So if you some unpost the command, same way it will work. So that's all for container security. What we are getting here, we have a container environment where our Docker is installed and some application is running as a container. In this case, we have Apache. Whenever it's not like that, is someone is daily doing some command on this environment. Once our app is stable and running, if we don't have a new person, we don't put the commands. So what we will do that when someone execute the command to stop the container, we or whatever the authorized person will get the alerts. So that's all in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.